This is NEC News Today. I'm Jeremiah McKinnon with necnewstoday.com. Here now are the top cannabis news stories from around New England for the third week of June 2022. Our first story this week involves a new report which has concluded that most cannabis consumers in Maine now obtain their cannabis legally in the state. The newly released report suggests that Maine's cannabis market is doing an above-average job of reducing the illicit market. Maine's Office of Cannabis Policy examined trends in cannabis consumption and market patterns in coordination with consulting and research firm Advocates for Human Potential, Inc. The statewide survey involved 1,129 Maine residents who were asked to report how many grams of cannabis they had accessed in the past month from a list of potential sources. That information was used to estimate the statewide percentage of cannabis acquired in the past month via the legal and illicit markets. According to the report, 64% of cannabis consumed in Maine is regulated or from a legal source, while 36% is obtained through the illicit market. The report also found that individuals who live in a zip code with one or more adult use dispensaries are more likely to access cannabis products through the legal market. To learn more about this interesting new report, please visit our website. Next, out of Massachusetts this week, the Cannabis Control Commission has uploaded a patient registration form in Spanish. On Tuesday, the Cannabis Control Commission uploaded a new document to their public system, which is a Spanish translation of their patient registration form. The Commission is engaged in translating materials into languages other than English as part of their ongoing commitment to ensure equity, access, and inclusion in the Massachusetts regulated cannabis industry. In summer 2021, the medical use of marijuana and adult use regulations were translated into Spanish and Portuguese. The newly released patient registration form is a paper application, which means that it must be mailed in and approved manually by Commission staff. Step-by-step instructions on how to register with the medical marijuana program are also available on the Massachusetts Patient Advocacy Alliance website in Spanish and Portuguese. This week, we wanted to try some great flower and support a locally owned microbusiness. So we sought out RiverRun Gardens and picked up 2 different strains in their signature gold containers. Having known the founder of RiverRun for years, Ed, as an advocate for the cause, we were excited to finally get to try his cannabis flowers. We reviewed the Mochisicle and Pint-sized strains. To our delight, both strains were trimmed perfectly and also were a pleasure to smoke. For the full review, including photos, please visit necnewstoday.com. In Vermont this week, the first adult-use cannabis testing lab has opened for business. BIA Diagnostics recently became the first adult-use cannabis testing lab to open in Vermont after receiving their license from the Vermont Cannabis Control Board. The laboratory, located in Colchester, is now open and accepting samples according to a press release. For the past 3 years, BIA Diagnostics has operated as an independent testing lab for the Vermont Agency of Agriculture's hemp program. BIA has also said they will be participating in several upcoming industry events and conferences such as the Vermont Hemp and Cannabis Convention, where their laboratory manager, Dr. Carly Farmer, is a featured speaker. Glad to see that Vermont is moving along quite nicely. Good Chemistry in Massachusetts has announced a temporary price drop they're calling inflation pricing on their in-house flower. Good Chemistry, with locations in Worcester and Lynn, are helping their customers fight record-breaking inflation by introducing lower prices. Strains of cannabis flower are now categorized into green, gold, and white tiers with their own price breakdown. Green tier costs $25 for 1/8, $45 for a quarter, $85 for a half ounce, and $165 per ounce. Gold tier strains cost $30 for 1/8, $55 for a quarter, $105 for a half ounce, and $205 per ounce. White tier strains cost $35 per 1/8, $65 per quarter, $125 per half ounce, and $245 per ounce. These reduced prices are across the board for both medical and adult use customers. We're glad to see consumers getting some relief on prices, at least on this category of their regular purchases. Go to Good Chemistry's website or necnewstoday.com for more details. Police say a Boston bus driver fell unconscious in Connecticut after eating THC-infused gummies. A bus driver from Boston was arrested at his home and taken to Bridgeport Superior Court in Connecticut to face 38 charges of reckless endangerment. In March, Jinwan Chen was working as a driver for Go-Go Sun Tour. After picking up almost 40 passengers at the Mohegan Sun Casino, police say Chen stopped the bus on the side of the highway in Connecticut and fell unconscious. Police say that when they arrived, one of the passengers had seen the driver eating some kind of snack before he passed out. An open container of Smokies edibles infused fruit chews were found next to the unresponsive driver, according to police. Prosecutors told the court that Chen had high amounts of THC in his bloodstream according to toxicology tests. The driver says he was completely unaware that the candy contained marijuana. The judge ordered Chem to be held in lieu of a $25,000 bond with a future hearing date of August 25th. For more information on this story, please visit our website. Resinate in Worcester is hosting a Come As You Are event at their dispensary on June 18th in celebration of Pride Month. The dispensary has announced a Come As You Are event hosted by former Miss Gay Worcester Victoria Queen. Resinate is inviting adults 21 years or older to this free event taking place on Saturday, June 18th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Resinate dispensary in Worcester. The event will feature drag performances, fun music, and refreshments. According to the event description, a portion of the sales made during the event will go towards supporting LGBT Asylum Task Force. An after-party is scheduled at the MB Lounge Gay Bar at 40 Grafton Street. This event sounds like a lot of fun. For more information, go to Resinate social media or our website. In an interesting turn of events in Massachusetts, a Southwick man has been ordered to pay $3,000 in restitution after destroying his neighbor's cannabis plants in an attempt to steal them. A Southwick man has pleaded guilty to assaulting his neighbor after trying to steal his marijuana plants. Police were notified in October of 2020 that Michael Markvart was trespassing on his neighbor's property for 2 nights in a row, according to video security footage. When the neighbor tried to stop Markvart, things became physical. Officers observed the property and determined that there was obvious signs of a struggle. Markvart faced charges of larceny of property valued more than $1,200, assault and battery, as well as trespassing. Markvart ultimately pleaded guilty and was sentenced on June 6, 2022. In his ruling, the judge ordered that Markvart pay $3,000 restitution to the victim for destroying the plants. This is the first time we've seen restitution in a case like this for damages to marijuana plants, something that we're happy to see. The Joint Committee on Healthcare Financing in Massachusetts has passed Bill H-4546 favorably onto the House Ways and Means Committee. The bill is titled An Act Relative to Vertical Integration of Medical Marijuana Businesses and would give the Cannabis Control Commission explicit authority to end the vertical integration requirement in medical marijuana licensing. Current policy requires each medical marijuana company to cultivate, manufacture, and retail their own cannabis products without exception. Advocates say that this requirement is expensive, it restricts the medical marijuana industry, and leaves patients in certain areas of Massachusetts without access to medical marijuana. The Joint Committee on Healthcare Financing attached a fiscal note to the bill, estimating that implementation would cost more than $100,000. A Senate version of the bill, S-2663, arrived in the Senate Ways and Means Committee in February. I'm pleased to see that this bill is still moving forward. For more information on this bill, please visit our website. Last but not least this week, the adult use dispensary in Massachusetts, Western Front, has announced when their latest dispensary will be having a grand opening celebration in the city of Cambridge. Western Front has announced that they will have a grand opening celebration taking place on Friday, June 24th at 1 p.m. The business is conveniently located at 567 Massachusetts Avenue in Central Square, which is easily accessible by public transportation. Situated directly next to Graffiti Alley, where artists display beautiful and colorful street art. This Cambridge dispensary is the second Western Front location to open in Massachusetts and will be their first dispensary license utilizing their economic empowerment priority status. Their Chelsea store opened in November of 2020. For more information on this event, go to Western Front social media or necnewstoday.com. For the absolute latest New England cannabis news, head on over to necnewstoday.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video. Subscribe to NEC News Today for more great content and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode of the show. For New England Cannabis News Today, this is Jeremiah McKinnon reminding you to always use cannabis responsibly and to enjoy your cannabis-filled adventures throughout New England.